Alright folks, we're back again. This is Nightmare with Twisted Nightmare Gaming. I'm going to do another deck profile for you today. This is actually a deck that I built when the Counter Fairy structure deck came out. I believe it was earlier this year or last year. I don't quite remember at this point because we've had so many things come out this year and in the last year and a half. So, but when it came out, I did jump on the opportunity to buy 3 of the structure decks. Some of the stuff isn't going to be in max rarity simply because I refuse to spend the amount of money that some of the stuff costs to actually max out the rarity. Especially like the first monster that you see on there right now. Yeah, that guy is like, I think it's like $30 for the ultra rare. So yeah, here we go. It's my Counter Fairy deck. So of course, can't have a Counter Fairy deck without 3 Bountiful Artemis. Bountiful Artemis basically, every time a counter trap is activated, immediately after resolution, draw a card. So yeah, we like deck thinning, and he's probably the best deck thinner in here. Triple Guiding Ariadne, which Ariadne basically is in here so that for its pendulum ability for the most part. So when it's in the pendulum zone, basically I don't have to pay to activate counter traps nor discard. I basically reveal. So that means if I'm running, say, Solemn Warning, I don't have to pay the life points for it. And then there's a few others in here that say I have to discard a card. Nope, I don't have to do that either. And then this is where I'm probably going to get the most hatred for. I run triple Honest, but I run 3 different rarities of Honest in here. So as you see, I run a super rare, I run an ultra rare, and I run the platinum rare. And that actually was an idea just to mess with people by my partner, Twisted. Double Minerva, the Scholar of the Sky. Again, each time a counter trap is activated immediately after resolution, this card gains 500 attack. That's permanent. So this card can get up very quickly in power. And then if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, I can add a counter trap with a different name from the one that was activated from my graveyard to my hand. 2 Power Angel Valkyria. Valkyria, if I negate the activation of a spell or trap card or monster effect, add a fairy from my deck, a light fairy from my deck to my hand. I can only use that once per turn. And then the boss monster of the main deck, Sacred Air Knight Parshath, which was the main one, that the selling point of the deck. His effect is activate if I activate a counter trap or I negate the activation of a spell like trap card or monster effect except during the damage calc. Banish 2 fairy monsters from my grave, actually from my hand, field, or grave. Special summon this card immediately from the graveyard. If it was there when you activated or negated from your hand, even if not. If this card attacks a defense monster, it does piercing damage. When this card inflicts battle damage to my opponent, I can add 1 Parshath card or counter trap from my deck to my hand. And then another one of my really good friends, we were sitting here thinking about it. Since you're running a lot of counter traps, the only non-fairy monster that we run in this deck is Vandalgian, the Dark Dragon Lord. And that's simply because if I activate a counter trap, he does a specific effect After resolution of that counter trap, he special summons himself from the hand, and then depending on what was negated, spells inflict 1500 burn. Traps, select and destroy one card on your opponent's field. Effect monster, select one monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So, in all actuality, he can actually tutor me into him. So, alright, that was it for the monsters. It's a relatively low monster count because, you know, you're trying to get most of the counter traps on the field. Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Game Charge, Double Terraforming, and then, you know, the main fairy field spell, Sanctuary in the Sky, as long as it's on the field, and I control the battle damage control of my monsters that I control. I take no battle damage. And then the continuous spell that came from the structure deck, which was Sanctum of Parshath, which literally does this card becomes Sanctuary in the Sky while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Fairy monsters I control gain 300 attack and defense. Set spells and traps can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, I can target a total of 3 fairy monsters and or counter traps with different names in my graveyard. Place them at the top of my deck in any order. So it gives you a lot of recursion to your for your counter traps and your monsters. That's it for the spells. Everything else in here is counter traps. And when I say everything, I do mean everything. So 2 Dark Bribes, because, you know, that's my staple when it comes to counter traps. You see that on almost every deck that I've built so far. Triple Divine Punishment. One Divine Wrath. Why not? It's old but good, and I don't have to do the discard for it if our Ariadne's on field. Double Rebirth of Parshath. Yeah, I know. I've said Parshath and I've said Parshath now. It really just depends on how I'm feeling, how I pronounce it. When a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, reveal 1 counter trap in my hand, then discard 1 card and pay 1,000 life points. Again, Ariadne. This is the main reason why this is in here. And if I do negate the activation, shuffle that card into the deck, then I can special summon 1 Parshath monster from my deck or extra deck. In other words, the quickest way to get the boss monster out. Recall. Literally, when your opponent activates a monster effect, negate the activation. If you do, destroy the card. Also, your opponent draws a card. Yeah, that's fine. We do run the Solemn package. 1 Judgment, triple strikes, no warning. I chose not to run it. And then the last 3 cards is triple Ultimate Providence. Providence literally says, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, discard the same type of card, either a spell, trap, or monster. Negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. So that is it for the main deck. I believe it's 42 cards. I have a lot of fun when I play this deck. I didn't build this deck to sit here and go into a tournament with. It's literally here just to play for fun and piss people off. That's the reason why I build a lot of my decks, is to piss people off. Alright, so the extra deck. There are no Parshath monsters in this extra deck. I could have got the Synchro monster, but that damn thing is hard to find. So we went a different route. You know, your standard Lynx and Xyz plays. So Warlord, Decode. The card will never be banned until this series is over, because you run so many lights. Triple Hippo Shinigami, Cerberus and Phoenix, Saryuja, and Underclock. That's it for the links. So 10 link monsters. Everything else is going to be Xyz monsters. So starting off with Dark Rebellion, Cowboy for Game, Utopia package, 41. So you run such a high number of level 4 monsters. If your field ever gets plugged, you ain't got no more links. That's where we go into the Xyz monsters, and it allows me to play a little bit of defense. If I just need to go in for game, and 9 times out of 10, you're going into light. Like I said, I built this deck when they first announced it, and then when it came out, I sat down with a couple of my friends. We sat down and made, brainstormed a few things. Again, I have a lot of fun playing the deck. I think I actually have taken it into one tournament. It was just like a little local tournament, one of the card shops I go to. And I think I went X2 in 6 rounds. So, I mean, it wasn't bad. I actually had a winning record with it. So, and I think I bubbled that day too. I bubbled based on tiebreakers. So, I think I came in 9th. Yeah. So, it doesn't disappoint. I just had a lot of fun with it. It doesn't take a lot of thought to run this deck. It just literally says, hey, let's get out as many fairies on the field as possible. Let's start and once we get these counter traps on field, let's start wrecking your opponent's world with them. If Ariadne's on the field, that means I'm going to sit here and play Solemns all day. The Solemns are going to keep getting put back in my deck. So you know it's going to end up happening eventually, because if you let me get Sanctum on field and then allow me to get Ariadne on field, I'm literally just going to use the other 3 spots to do nothing but play counter traps. That's the basis of the deck. That's what the deck is supposed to do. And that's really it. You can tell me your thoughts on the deck, and I know somebody's going to say something about the deck. Like I said, I had fun building it. I have fun playing with it. I actually had to go back and find it because it's been moved around so much lately that I did not know where it was until probably like an hour and a half ago. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell 3 times. Like my boy Alex says, 3 times, of course. This is Nightmare with Twisted Nightmare Gaming, signing off.